Hey guys, so this is my vintage Singer 115. I just pulled it out to make a video for somebody who I sold a 1530 to show them how to thread the machine and wind the bobbin, because the tension assembly on the nose plate and the bobbin winder are the same on the Singer 115s and the 1530s. These kind of have these elliptical gear driven bobbin winders, which are really cool. Kind of similar to the shuttle bobbin winders from that era. So they're pretty unique, they're pretty cool. But I had the machine out, I figured I'd make a video on it because this is a pretty rare machine. The Singer 115, there are not very many of them in rotation. Singer only produced, I think, 330,000 of these machines, maybe, more or less. They only made them for 12 years in the US. From 1912 to 1924, so they're pretty rare. If you happen to run across one, and I'll show you how to identify it, grab it if you can. There are not very many of them around, and kind of what makes this, what makes this machine so unique, visually it looks identical to the 1530, and there are quite a few around. There are quite a few 1530s around, but if you see one, they have the gingerbread decaling, or Tiffany's decaling, this is also referred to, which is like this gold color. It's really a good looking decaling. But really what makes it different is the fact that this was Singer's first adaptation of another model that they had called the Singer 9W, but this is a full rotary hook machine. This is Singer's first full rotary hook machine, meaning that the hook rotates a full 360 degrees, unlike the other class 15 machines where it's called an oscillating hook, where the hook rocks back and forth. And I'll show you what that looks like on the underside. So it's an exceptionally smooth running machine. Full rotary hook also is like a Singer 201 or a Singer Featherweight 221. Those are full rotary hook machines, whereas like a Singer 1591, 1530, 1588, and so on, those are oscillating hook machines. I personally find that the rotary hook machines operate a little bit more smoothly, and this one in particular is no exception. So I thought I'd give a little bit more info and show you about this machine. Actually, Singer, this is an adaptation of the Singer 9W model, which there are a handful out there. Singer bought a company out in 1905 called Wheeler and Wilson, and they were manufacturing a model called the D9, which was a rotary hook machine. And then when Singer bought them out, Singer continued to have that manufactured under the name 9W, and then the hook and the style of machine was adapted over into the 115. So that's kind of a little background history on it. They're not a lot made, really. They're very, very rare. This one, the date code says that based on the Singer's date code, which is, it's a G prefix 423,000, or actually, sorry, 4,324,000 serial date code says it's 1910, but they weren't manufactured, from my understanding, until 1912. So I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate. But anyway, let me show you the underside of the machine, and what really makes this thing so special is if you look at the hook. Let me zoom in on it. It's a lot less robust in appearing than the class 15, that has a huge housing around it and everything. It looks a little bit more fragile. But you'll notice as I rotate the hand wheel around, that hook makes a full 360 degree rotation. So this is unlike most of the other machines that rock back and forth. And you also see here at the linkage at the end, the linkage right here, this typically rocks back and forth. And you'll notice on the 115 it rotates a full 360 degrees. So if you happen to run across one of these things, that's a good way to tell. Just rotate the hand wheel around and see if it rotates a full 360. The other thing that's kind of unique on this too is that there's this part of the hook. It's shaped like an ellipse. And actually the feed dogs ride on that, and that's what times the feed dog motion, which is kind of neat. There's no way to drop the feed dogs on this, so it's not like some of the other singers where you can drop the feed dogs. They're fixed, always running. So if you're gonna do like free motion embroidery on a machine like this, you're gonna have to get a needle plate cover to cover up those feed dogs. But yeah, so let me sew on it and you can see how it operates. You know, given the age of this machine, these things were not sold with motors. These were treadle machines, or possibly hand crank machines. So I added the motor on just so I could use it, just to kind of see how it would run. Let me thread it. So you go from behind, over this bar, through the check spring. Sorry, my phone's going off there like crazy, but through the check spring, take up lever, through the guides. Sorry, I had it tensioned up, or I had it threaded, but then it came undone. So trim that. I don't have a light on here. But hopefully you can see that. So yeah, the bobbin case. Here it is. It's a Class L bobbin. So it uses the bobbin case and a bobbin from a Singer 20U machine. So you can still find bobbins. This is a reproduction bobbin. I prefer the original. At the time I couldn't find one. I probably could if I just kept an eye out on eBay, but this one works fine, and to be honest, I don't really use this machine, so it wasn't that critical to me. But you can find modern bobbins and bobbin cases for it. Just look for a Singer 20U, which is a semi-industrial machine. And the bobbins, they look a lot like the Singer, the FAF 130 bobbins, but they are not the same. The FAF 130 bobbins are 1/32 of an inch larger in diameter, so they're not going to fit within this bobbin case. So you have to get, I believe it's the Class L bobbin size. An Adler 189, which I also have, uses this same bobbin size. It's just a little bit narrow and fits in the bobbin case. And then you also have to thread it. There's this little pigtail here. I don't know if you can see if it's focusing in, that you have to thread it through, which is kind of unique. The Adler also has something like this, but I haven't seen any other Singer that has it. So you have to wind the thread through there, and that guides the thread. Has it insert right in from the bottom side. So you drop the bobbin case in, and the bobbin case actually rotates pretty freely. I was surprised the first time I used this thing, how much movement there was in the bobbin case in the machine, in that it can rotate around more than other machines. But anyway, let's capture the thread. There we go. And it's under power right now, so let me grab some scraps and sew on it, and you can see it's kind of how it runs. Here's a small little piece here. But it doesn't have reverse. This machine and the others from this era, they do not have reverse, just straight forward stitch. The feet aren't hinged. You can put a hinge foot on there if you want. It does not have reverse, so it's just flat in the back. There's no lip in the back. You can see how smooth, and the thing produces really excellent stitches, just like all the Singers from this era. This table is kind of bouncy. There's no support in the middle, so that's why the machines move it up and down, but It's very, very smooth. And they come with 9-spoke wheels, which is this wheel over here. Let me take it out, you can take a closer look. So the machines come with these 9-spoke hand wheels. Now they have the larger diameter wheel because these were used on treadle machines. But you can also hook up a hand crank to that. The mechanism just basically tilts into one of the spoke hole openings. But you can run a motor on it too. You just bolt it up on the back. It bolts to the same bolt where you would mount a hand crank. So I really like this. If it had reverse, I would use this machine actually, like even being 100 years old, because the stitch quality on it's really good. It's just like any of the other Singers really in terms of its capabilities, with the exception of the reverse. There are ways to get around that, but you know, I just don't want to deal with it. But it's pretty fast. This is just a Singer motor from a more modern machine. But you can hear it's very smooth. It's fast-ish. I mean, it's not like a FAF 130 or something with a 1.3 amp motor, but it works. And you could put a bigger motor on here too. But yeah, this is an awesome machine. It's a Singer 115. So if you happen to run across one, they're not a lot out there. Keep an eye out for it, and grab them when you can. And they clean up really well. The decaling on them is just really gorgeous. You can see the depth of color in there, and you know, the more modern machines don't have this kind of like ornamental decaling. They kind of moved away from it as the years went on. So this kind of Tiffany or gingerbread decaling it's really impressive when you see it in person. So good luck if you happen to run across one. Snag it. It's the Singer 115. Thanks.